Ladies and gentlemen, please fasten your seatbelts. We are expecting some turbulence. Thank you.
Hello, and good evening. We started with a little bit of delay. That might be my fault. I forgot how to do stuff. Hello, Rachel. Are we good to go? Because I couldn't check if the previous live stream ended up in Jama. Hello, Sue. Oh, I'm happy that you like it. It's a new one. I remember about making it. Okay. Hello, Fiona. Hello. Yes, go. Okay. Okie dokie. So today it's the second banter that is going also live in JAMA group. Unfortunately, over here, there is a full name of the group, and I didn't thought about making the white screen. So that will come up in a second. And today we have really interesting topic about your brain. Is it your friend or not necessarily? Because it can work both ways. Hello. And I would like to start with a comment from the previous banter. That is something new that I would like to introduce. So that was comment that Caroline made just at the end. So I didn't put it on the screen because I already ended up live stream when it showed up. Comment says, please, thank you very much for your openness in so many ways. Hopefully the day will come when whatever mental health issues will be recognized in everyday shape and form. Yes, progress has been made in many ways, but sadly, some people still regard this as a taboo and just get over yourself attitude. Sign of the attitude towards others, maybe loved ones and friends. Thankfully, though slowly, more and more people are speaking openly, and hopefully more will listen, understand these issues, taking away the taboo by becoming more understanding in so many ways. And that is why I actually started to talk about it, because I was guilty of that as well. And that influenced my life in so many ways. Hello, Linda. Hi, Angela. Hi, Moika. Hello, Leanne. And a part of that influence projects on my work of any kind. I had, like 8 to 5, 9 to 5, like regular job that you go for entire day of work and then come back home. I was working from home, and the best one, the one that was working the best, was teaching, because it was very dynamic and unpredictable, and basically, except basic planning, you can plan stuff because stuff will go sideways. But that came with really cool job that I really liked. Hello, Facebook user. Unfortunately, I don't have Facebook open yet. I will open it later on to title everyone with their name. Divergent brain. Sounds like I'm in the right place. I didn't know how to describe it in other way than divergent. Divergent will be abnormal in many ways. It doesn't mean bad. We don't have like good and bad here, because everything has pros and cons. And I like to take advantage of pros and happen to hate cons. One of the cons is a big issue that was really projecting on my everyday stuff and on my creative outlet, because with classes and all of that, came a really cool aspect of making designs, or paper collections, stamps, different things, everything that I could put my hands on, I would be up for, because I love products, and I like to make them. I like to, come up with different stuff. Usually things that I would like to use, I would like to see. Uh, Stamps were like, area, because I do like them. I do like to make them, but by any means, I'm not a stamper. Whoever saw any of my live streams when I'm using stamps, you know that I'm not a stamper. I I stuck with using the stamps, um, and I choose the path of very mixed media, dimensional work. So stamps were not always fitting uh, into that, but I still really enjoyed making a design. I was working with Orland Create for a really long time, and I really liked it. And I got questions why we stopped working together, and why I stopped making designs. There were two reasons. First one, I really struggle with deadlines, because that would require planning and thinking ahead. And I wasn't capable of doing that. So usually it was like lastminute.com. Basically, to the very last second, I was sitting and scrambling to make the design perfect and to make it work. And because I'm not a stamper, they don't always work as a stamp. They work as a design. It's a nice thing, but then when you think about manufacturing any kind of product, there are some restrictions that you have to follow. So not every design will work as a stamp. And because I lack of that experience, that was a little bit of a struggle. Then meeting the deadlines, and Orange Create started to grow, and the releases started to be bigger and bigger. And I I struggled with meeting the deadline, and I was working with my friends, and I really didn't want to disappoint anyone. So that was adding an extra pressure. And the second reason actually, like made my mind completely, that was Brexit, and not being able to go to accountant and fix all my stuff and get my shit together, because uh, that came together with upcoming big mental breakdown. So I was already like falling a little bit behind, and on top of that, the stress about putting out the invoices came to play, and we decided to departure ways. As you could see, there was no drama, no mystery. I know that it would be much more interesting if that would be a huge drama, but there was actually just circumstances were not fitting. Um, I was uh, I was struggling with letting that go, because that was something that I really really enjoy uh, doing. And like at the end of not 2022. 2022 was no designs from Olga. I know you were asking, because I got a lot of DMs and messages. Hello, Karin. And I was just struggling with meeting the deadlines, because every manufacturer will have the deadline, and most people that I work with before I fell apart, they knew that I will meet the deadline, because I would meet the deadline at any cost. I could not. eat, sleep, breathe, pee, eat, drink, I would just do anything that I could to meet that deadline on the very last minute. But that's not a good way, because it brings you joy, but then as soon as you meet that deadline and achieve that peak, there is a big fall. And if you are struggling when you are on the peak, you will struggle with that falling down. And with a lot of those corporations, I was ashamed to admit that, hey, you know what? I would love to come back to working with you, but it happens that I'm crazy. So things would have to change. And expecting that company will, bend or change stuff to make it more workable for me was like unfair, because I did try. I did try very hard to come back to it. There was a couple of approaches and nothing happened. So I gave up. I gave up on that part, um, and decided that probably it's not for me. I went into the different route with graphic designing, with graphic designs. I don't know what will be better, because I'm not drawing my images. Um, you know, they don't they don't came from that or that hand. I'm not holding a pencil. I struggle with drawing a person a little bit more complicated than one circle and the stick for hands. That is top of my possibilities. I know how to manipulate graphics. Yes, that I know quite well. I know how to collect the graphics. I can pull off them from the pictures, and I happen to be lucky enough to have a spouse that actually can draw stuff for me. That is also very cool experience, because he's an artist as well, and it's hard for somebody else to just draw what you have in your head, exactly like you have it in your head. Even when I explain it very, 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 very with a lot of details and reference materials, the chances are that it will not look like it looks in my head. And when it doesn't look like it looks in my head, that means it's not perfect. That means I can't have it. That means I have to ask him to change it. And if you ever get any criticism towards your work, you know how it feels and how you will react. And most people would be like, fuck off. If you don't like what I did, then you can do it yourself. And probably more than once, I was also guilty of that attitude when I was submitting my work. That part did change. I worked it out, how to change it, how to not get personally attached to my brilliant idea, especially when it doesn't work. And at the end of the wait, before I will go, before I will go further, I will scroll on the comments. Wait, which screen? Which screen? Here. Okay. Hello, Nuneka. Did I miss someone except Nuneka? I missed a couple of Facebook users. So hello to all Facebook users. Nunu says, I will put it on the screen because YouTube is an asshole and not always is playing back the comments. Companies and people need to stop thinking that being crazy is something bad. And most creative people, we are crazy. Yeah, that is true. But some, crazy and crazy, those are two different crazies. If somebody is OCD, then it's like, yes, it's most desirable, person to work with, because they will meet the deadline. They will freak out about the deadline to the point that they are ready ahead. They have the duckies are in the row. They sitting nice and they are ready to go way ahead. And that's not the case with me. I mean, the duckies are there, maybe even in the row, but probably that row is, like in a different city, and they still have to find their way. Sue says that she thinks that they should bend and give you an open time to create and after offer it to them. That would be cool, but without deadline, I will never finish the work, because as soon as I'm finished, I will find something that I have to fix. I will learn something new. Every time I will learn something new, I will find something better, and I will go back and start work from the beginning, like improving till not existing perfection. Marsha says that that makes total sense, and you have to do what's best for you. Yeah, I didn't want it to disappoint friends. I didn't want it to admit at the beginning that something is wrong with me. Because, like the comment that I started with, I was ashamed to admit, like I felt like an idiot. A grown ass woman have to go and tell people, like, yeah, I have that thing. Yeah, that I have to be supervised like a little child. Otherwise, I will go sideways. Um, and it's hard to expect from company to change it just for me. And I would never, because that is an awful move as well. I should start to work on myself like I did this time from the ground up, and then start to do something with it, and not get so excited, overwhelmed, and hop onto every opportunity that I want to take. Hello, another Facebook user. Okay, Rachel, as I see that you are here, could you please put the link to Lou's Hochanda show? Create and Craft show, because I had the computer crash just before live stream, and I didn't add that link. So if you could put that link, that would be cool, because I would like to give shout out to good friends. And like all that being said, I have friends, and somehow they like my designs. They like to work with my designs. Usually, they will buy all of them. And at the end of last year, she did mention it a couple times. My friend Leanne did ask me a couple times, can she recommend me to work, because she has a friend and maybe I would like to come back to do stuff, like just to make some designs, because apparently they are cool, and it would be cool to have something out, like I was scared. I was scared that I will fail again, that, it will be a disaster and yet another unsuccessful thing. But on the other hand, I really wanted to do something cool. And that's how I met Sarah from Funky Forces. And this time I did something differently. That thing that I did differently was, when we started to talk, I started conversation from taking a huge risk and just saying what I just said, like, I'm horrible to work with. I can give you so many ideas, and I'm happy to be flexible with the designs, and we can change stuff around. But I need somebody to constantly poke me and ask if it's ready, and I need somebody to supervise me, basically. And it turned that, being honest, surprise, surprise, can bring you some benefits. So today I did invite Sarah. She will join me and we will talk about really not typical for me um, collaboration and not typical way of working because it wasn't me submitting design. I mean, I did submit. I supposed to submit an idea for one set, and I could do basically whatever I wanted. So I did some way too much, way too many on the last minute. Um, but it worked out somehow. I don't know actually how. I did prepare some graphics. I will add Sarah to the screen. Okay, Sarah, are you ready? You have to nod your head if you're ready to go. Okay, she's ready to go. Woohoo! So here's Sarah.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello. How are you? Yes, I can hear you. This time we can hear each other. Mm, yes. So, do you confirm that I said true and I told true and I didn't lie and that's exactly how things went.
It's totally what happened, because I think when I made contact with you, I got a long email back with all of this. Oh, I'm terrible to work with, and I struggle with deadlines, and I'm a perfectionist, and I really kind of not sure whether you'll enjoy working with me. And I was like, oh, this is a refreshing way to start. But it was really helpful because I'd seen the work that you did already with All and Create, so I knew that what you produced was fabulous. And I'm a small company. I mean, so as I said to you back, look, we can be flexible. This isn't about turning out a massive quantity of designs. It's about really giving you the platform to express your own style.
Yeah, and probably you had some doubts when the deadline was so close and I didn't send anything, and then I sent like 10,000 different ideas, every single one completely out of the blue.
I think it wasn't the deadline, though. Sometimes because your brain is so creative, and as you say, you almost sometimes you struggle to filter it, don't you? So you've got all of these ideas and they're all fighting for which one you want to really kind of push forward with. So I think initially I was like, oh my goodness, I love all of it, but there's no way there's no way we can do something with all of it in one go. So I think it was more that initially was how do we kind of pull this into something that is going to work as a first outing.
Yeah, keep on going. I'm just looking on the chat, so you can keep talking. I'm just keeping my one eye on the screen, the other eye on the other screen, and I'm trying to not look crazy with like.
Well, I think the key thing for me was the thing that I get most challenged by, because it's both a strength and a problem sometimes, is your drive to perfection. Because you just sometimes, and this is what we're really working on, isn't it? Is that you keep saying, right, okay, I'm going to put a pin in it, I'm going to let it go now. And you're really conscious, and I'm conscious that you're actually having to almost physically remove yourself from the process, because you will just keep working on things beyond the point that I think that the changes that you make will necessarily be visible to the end user, and in fact almost to the point where you could almost take it past what will be a good stamp, because we've got to think about, as you said, it's how is this going to translate onto a piece of paper, card, or whatever you're stamping onto with ink. And And also we're thinking about the scale of the image in terms of how much detail we can get into a stamp that isn't going to be, you know, kind of poster size. So I think what I've been really impressed with is the fact that you can see that in yourself. And although sometimes I know it's hard for you to do, you do physically make the effort to just let it go. Even though I can tell from your emails, you're like, you really want to keep going.
Yeah, because, first of all, I always think about end user, especially now, because let's be honest, since pandemic till now, most people did experience some financial downfalls. And when I started, I keep always putting myself in that beginner spot that I just discovered the hobby, and I have to purchase absolutely everything. And back then, I was looking for the perfect product, the one that would be exactly, every single little bit had to make sense. I had to make use of it for me to purchase it.
Make the investment,
And and that is always very, very, very important factor. And because I am not a stamper per se, that means I know how to use stamp. It's not very complicated to start with. You just take it, put the ink on, and make an impression. But to use it in the creative way, I still didn't play with the set because I left it as the prize for achieving my first goal, because I started a cooperation with conviction that will be one thing that maybe I will have that one set and that's it, and then you will be like, nah, let's not do it anymore.
Forget it.
So I wanted to put absolutely everything into it, but the thing that was different was feedback, because you gave me feedback that didn't make me feel bad. It wasn't like, oh no, that design is, it will not work. It was very constructive, and I always knew what is to improve.
So all I was going to say is just picking up on your comment about being very conscious of the end user. I think that's something we have in common, isn't it? Because we both said to each other, stamps are an expensive thing to buy, and we all want everything because we love it as a hobby and a passion. So whenever we're talking about the stamps that you're putting together, we have the conversation on how versatile is it and how many different ways could you use it, and should we break the image apart so that people can compile their own, or would that be too daunting? And I've been really impressed at how kind of conscious you are of that. So although you love design, that doesn't get in the way of you thinking it might look really cool on the set to have it all together, but other than the fact that will look great, is it taking away options that a stamper might otherwise have if I made it look a bit messier on set but made it separate elements? So I think the fact that
I have the graphics to support a conversation. I was a good girl. So then we can, because I think it will be easier for everyone to understand. First of all, the finished set, and they started as the one design. In my head, I had one stamp set to go, one stamp set to do. That is the final product. And my favorite, and they are not my babies, I can say that I have favorites, will be Inky Bones that you see on the screen. I just covered one part that I really wanted to have. That is the part of the thing that Sarah is talking about. underneath that huge blue stain, there is another thing that I really wanted to put into the set. But because I have just one thing. I can do just one set. So it have to be absolutely everything that I like, everything that I would need. And that one secret, and that one secret thing will make appearance in the volume 2. So that's why it's covered, so to not spoil the surprise. But that first original design, as you can see, I did submit a rib cage, and there were background elements, and the middle part is a weird thing, because that was something that usually will not make slide when you work with companies. You need somebody who is a little bit software aware to understand that middle image, because that was concept. It was just slapped together very fast, just to demonstrate what I'm going for. And those are really clean concepts. Because some of them were just a bunch of reference found in internet, put together in different colors, so hard to see. And I was amazed that you got entire idea, and what I wanted to show, because usually when I send concept art, it will be either taken like, oh, that's nice, but it's somebody else's design. And yes, I know it's just a concept. It's our idea board. Because though I don't drew them from the beginning, like every single flower is placed by me manually. The fact that somebody else drew them doesn't mean that it took less time to make it happen. And I really, really liked both rib cages with the flowers. And as you can see on the screen, we were considering both of them to make their way to the set. But I assembled it together, and I saw that something is missing, and I was messaging you all the time like, I don't like it. I like it, but don't like it. It's the thing that I like but don't like. Like, I want this one. I wanted that background to be bigger, and from that one set, we moved on. Wait, can we have it? Yeah. So here is the no, not this one, not this one, wrong. This one. Yeah. Again, the secret part is covered with my concept of the crow, and I was stubborn. I really tried to make that particular crow to go to the set, and I already, when I printed out, I already knew that it will be hard. It will be hard because he came out very, very black. He came out as a black blob, basically. So I was very excited, because I remember that I was struggling with that set, and I hope that you just like the designs. It wasn't like, oh my god, poor girl, she's struggling so heavily. Because actually, that was your idea, to pull off that big element that I really wanted to include. Because that was my idea. I wanted some skeletons, because I love skeletons. I wanted grungy elements, because I love grunge. I wanted to have some sentiment, so I can make one project from entire set. And I wanted some backgrounds because backgrounds are cool. And then I wanted that thing that is covered, and I was so stubborn. I couldn't make it work because it took ages. I forgot how it's called. That is made from image that is covered with those little lines.
The
It's
etching.
not etching. Yeah, the etching. Not etching, it's etching. And removing that took a bit. And I was sure that Sarah will tell me that no, it will not happen. You are fiddling too long with those. Like just 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 do it, girl. But she came back with really cool idea of taking those background pieces and making collages from them. And making messy collage is something that could be my separate hobby. So I was super happy. And each one of those collages had like 12 versions because we can add that little dot over there. And I can add the little thread on the bottom because I really wanted to fill up as much of the plate as was possible. And I know how many versions there were because I did downloaded them today to put on the screen, and I was like, "Oh no, it's the same thing again."
But they weren't. It wasn't overwhelming. But you got to a point, hadn't you, where the main concept was there, and then it was just how to refine the concept. It wasn't like you were going off in all sorts of different directions, and we couldn't follow the thread. It was just the sense of, actually, if there's some empty space left on the plate, then what could we do with that that'll make it look really cool? So I didn't feel like, this crazy woman's bombarding me with lots of random images. They all were following. To me, it seemed like a logical development of the first concept. And the other thing was, there was no way you were going to get everything on one stamp set that you might ever want in a stamp.
I really tried.
I know you did. But that's why I love the A6s, because we need.
I was squeezing those things, and that was a big relief that you didn't want to compromise the final result, and you were like, okay, all of that is good. We are interested in that area, in that part of that extreme submission. We can focus on those, and because you can do some graphic stuff, so I could send you a single images, and you could show me actually, this one should be this size, because you are also end user. You use stamps a lot, and before that I was relying kind of on my instinct and kind of on what I saw that people did with the previous designs,
and
but I didn't want to go that road of florals and wings, because I felt that I did so much in that topic.
And they're gorgeous, but no, I think that is the deceptive thing of working on a screen, isn't it? Because we can expand the image up, we don't always realize that actually, but when we actually stamp it in a stamp size that's that small, it will be really dark. So it's just trying to give the designs space to breathe, because you do like dense designs, you like the layers and the detail, but that needs space to be able to come out well on a page, because of course on the screen you've got that contrast built in, and you're also able to kind of see that detail really crisply, but you have to think, how will that look when it's only so big?
Because, like, one would think that printing it out should give me some idea, and it works to some extent, but without experience, and especially that it has been over 3 years since I was doing the designs in the way that they will be manufactured as stamps, you forget how tiny or how big you can go, because then even when I print it out, it's like when you purchase some goodies online, you sit with the ruler and you're checking what size it will be. And I'm always surprised. They are either smaller or bigger than I expected. And I know what size A5 is. Like,
Yeah.
really, I know that. And I'm still like, oh my God.
It is really weird, because that's exactly what happens to me. I know that the size I'm working on is A5, and I know the dimensions of each of the images, but still, even now when the stamps come back, I'm like, oh, that's smaller than I thought it was going to be. So I don't know, there's something that gets changed between what's real on the screen and the physical reality of the stamp itself. It's just a weird thing. Maybe it's just my head just won't go around it.
And we have some comments. So Nuna says that I'm of the opinion that you can defend what you really believe in, and that applies to designs too, and that she can promote only the products that she loves, and if she knows that they are good, especially if she designed them. And that is true. It wasn't the case with the stamps, because Arts was always doing a really, really good, really thorough quality check, and I could always count on Tracy. Tracy's amazing stamper, and when I had the idea, she could always be like, but she was very, very British about it. Like, oh yes, that's lovely, but have you been thinking about like scratching this one and doing something else? Not exactly in those words, but I always needed some help in that departure. I don't struggle with the paper design because it will look, I can print it and it will look exactly like I printed. And I'm also doing the same thing with my artworks, that I will put everything in one place. All the elements will be in one place on the side of the canvas. The rest is open, and everything else is built up to that level, and they are, all clumped together. And that moment when you are like, okay, you have to let it breathe. Just move them apart a little bit. It will be fine. They will not have separation anxiety. You can move them apart.
I think it's a really good comment about kind of feeling passionate about the things that you created that you love. I think for you, because you are very self-critical and you are such a perfectionist. I think whatever you do, it's almost hard for you not to start by pointing out what you think are the flaws to other people. So you start with what you see as being wrong with it, even though actually it's amazing. So that's something, I suppose, for this year, it's kind of just, looking at the whole thing and thinking, my goodness, I've achieved that. That is amazing. Rather than always thinking, but I could have just made that a little bit better.
That part will be always present, because
it is,
and it is ridiculous. And I do understand that I am a mess. I'm way far from perfect. Why do I expect? And perfection actually doesn't exist. We can just make an improvement, but I was so stressed because I was scared that people will not like them, and that that excitement of mine will be like dulled down. And I always I'm optimistic pessimist, because I hope for the best, but I assume the worst.
Respect the words. Yeah, yeah.
And as soon as design team started to make samples with my designs, because that is the first line of the first try when
Yeah, it's the
design team
first
gets
real
the
kind of
design.
test of the product, isn't it? Yeah.
Because if the team of people who are kind of experts in what they do, because that's how they get the spot in the design team, because they do really good work. If they cannot work with it, if it's too hard, or if they need an explanation or extra prompts, that means that it will be very hard design. And some designs are easier, some are harder. As a person who likes that stuff and skeletons, I already made stuff harder for myself at the beginning, because it will not be everyone's cup of tea. Uh, but to be fair, nobody can tell me the worst critic than I already told myself. After I submitted and after everything was approved, and that perfectionism shows when I thought out that the letters are mirrored
Yeah.
on one of the images, that I did overlap some stuff, change the order of layers when I was reassembling things for 25 times. I forgot to put stuff in the correct order, so they will not, the
But
lines will not
I
cross.
hadn't noticed it, had I? It was you that went, oh,
No,
what's
you
that?
didn't.
Yeah, you like, you haven't sent it, have you? Don't send it. I've done an overlap and I hadn't even noticed.
Uh, I do remember that, because right now, and that part I will discuss probably months from now, something like that. I'm on the journey. I'm trying to improve stuff, and it's getting better. But that limits my online time, and that was basically the last moment before my phone have to be shut off. And I was like, no, the message started. No, don't send it. I will send it very fast thing in the morning. I will wake up at 4 a.m. But it did work out, and that is because I'm looking at everything pixel by pixel to make sure that that they are and they are good. And I'm trying to scroll to the comments, but every time somebody is commenting, they go up.
I think there are just two things. While you look at comments, there were two things from what you said there. One was about that perfectionism, because I remember in a conversation we had, you said, and I used to really kind of put myself through so much angst about getting everything right. And then when I looked at the stamp sets again, maybe 6 months later, I can't remember all the things that I was going to do that would have made them better. So there is something about being out of the moment, and you gain a better sense of perspective. And the other thing I was going to say is, because you said about the rib cages not being necessarily for everybody, and that's what I really love about you, is if you were going to do just one stamp set and that was it, you weren't going to compromise on the imagery. And I think that's the key thing. Of course we're all we have to have a commercial mindset, but as Nonika said earlier, if you don't love it, then don't put it out.
And I do know that some of my ideas have to be a little bit smoothened to be commercial, because I happen just to like less popular things, and I think that they are pretty and beautiful, and I'm trying to find the beauty and to spread that. And I know that there is entire genre of dark crafters that, celebrate Halloween every day of the year. Because that's how I, started to explore that during the Halloween I would buy absolutely everything because there was always a skeleton. I could have my skellies. I don't know who commented that, but that's very fitting. That our greatest friend is our greatest weakness, and that is true because it has pros and cons. And as much as I like the fact that one idea sparks another, then I don't like the fact that you are like, okay, so just make quick A5 from A6, and it's not quick. It takes entire evening because it's not one, it's 20. And the difference is, a dot is here or dot is on the bottom, on the top or on the bottom. Maybe sentiment a bit on the right, and it can be on the left.
That is a really true statement, because all of our strengths, when we take them to an extreme, they're the thing that trip us up. So it's, as you say, it's knowing when they're serving you well and helping you do your best work, and when they're getting in the way and stopping you sleeping or stopping you eating or peeing or
I can't do that anymore because that is not a good way, and I would be told off because I am supervised, and that's good. Like other adults have to supervise me so I can function. That supervision will be taken off on some point, but it's not something that I should be looking forward to because that will take some time. And that poking, that fact that like, hey, so in 3 days we are submitting the designs. In 2 days we are submitting the designs. Tomorrow is the deadline.
Hello.
That was very helpful because that closer to deadline, I do realize that if I don't meet this deadline, then in most cases you can just go to the next one, unless it's something seasonal, because then you have to wait entire year. I can't wait for stuff 10 minutes. So entire year is like, no, way too long.
No, I think you need the focus. You need the focus, particularly of a deadline, purely because you need to let it go. You say it will never be finished. I think there was a comment earlier, wasn't there, about having time, and of course you have to have that creative space. It's like I always say to you, isn't it? I want you to create designs that make you happy and you'd want to see. So I don't want to be prescriptive and say, oh no, I want one of these and one of these, but then you also need somebody who's just going to give you a finish line, otherwise you'll never want to let that concept go.
Leanne did put the comment that my brain on this occasion was my friend, and sometimes it is, but sometimes it's not. In this case, it works, first of all, because I was honest, and there was a chance that you will say like, no, I prefer people who can deliver on the deadline. But that is advantage of working with the smaller company, that you are more willing to give it a try, because except of the designs, I can bring a lot of things to the table as a whole, aside of the things that I'm doing. And in bigger company, that will not pass, because everyone already have their job and they don't need other people input. Leanne actually told me that we will get along. She was like, no, just give it a try. Don't be yourself. Because I was like, no, you know how it will end up. And like, another person that I will disappoint is, I can make a list and already add the name. And she was she was really, really, like, no, just give it a try. Come on, it will not hurt you. Just try. And I really enjoyed that, and I was so surprised with amount of positive feedback that I got. Because first the design team, they like the designs, and
We love
that
them.
made me so happy. And they tend to be quite versatile, because even more cutesy and flowery girls could make up something with that. So that was making me happy. And then show was amazing. I can't say celebration.
Don't try saying that.
That is breaking my tongue, and I really, really enjoyed the whole release. The reason why I didn't work with my stand yet is because they are my prize, and I can start work with them on February, because that will be entire month of being on the good way, and that will be my prize, and I will work with them, and I will do some stuff online, like I did promise, in a couple groups. Yeah, so
You can relax and enjoy February, because you've already got your next 2 lots of designs pretty much finished, and we're ready to kind of get those made, aren't we? So you're already ahead.
Yeah, that is different as well, because I was, again, honest at the beginning, and you are willing to spend a little bit time almost every day with me on those little details, and go like hour by hour, and give me the feedback. I was able to work ahead and not stress about being very last minute, and have the room to breathe. And I'm very enjoying that cooperation, and yeah, because we are celebrating still. I can say that like it's supposed to be said. In general, it's a town with the spell, but my pronunciation sucks. So, my dear viewers, if you are watching us on YouTube, then I will invite you to JAMA, that stands for Young Journals and Mindful Mixed Media Art Group. Because there will be a contest going on over there, contest or giveaway of some kind, and to participate. I would like you to submit a picture of your artwork, any artwork. It can be something that you did yesterday. It can be something that you did a year ago. As long as it's your make, it will be fine. And when you post that, I would like to hear your words on kindness. Either you can share the story, or just say what that word means to you, because mm, that will be a topic in 2 weeks. The kindness itself. And it was fitting very well, because both Funky Fossil and Young Journal and Mindful Mixed Media Art are full of kindness. And I experience a lot of kindness in both of those places. And you have time till Tuesday. So on Wednesday, admins can think about what day, who will be the winner, and maybe it will be more than one winner. If there will be a ton of submissions, then I will definitely scramble for extra prizes. And on next Thursday, so a week from now, I will announce the winners, and of course, a main prize, a stamp of today's question. Like the the designs that I came up with, funky postal, and I really like that. It it works really well. It's funkadelic because I'm funky. Mm, yeah. So thank you, Sarah, for joining me today,
Thank
and
you.
thank you for giving me a chance because that was really unique experience of working in a little bit crazy ways, sometimes on crazy hours, and you had to take a big leap of faith in a stranger, basically, from
Yeah.
internet. And I want to thank Leanne for pushing me and all my friends for supporting me, and to everyone who did supported the designs with the comment, patches, watching show, sharing. That was really overwhelming, and definitely some live streams are coming up really soon with the designs, and yeah, that will be it for today. And do you want to say something at the end?
Me?
Mhm.
Well, all I would say is I didn't take a leap of faith because you are an amazing designer, and I've just been, out of all of this, I just feel very lucky that I've made a friend as well, because we chat all the time, don't we? And we're always bouncing ideas, and I'm a bit of a workaholic, so that means that whatever time of day you message me, I'm normally on. But no, it's been a joy to work with you, because I just feel very lucky to benefit from all that creativity in your head. And if what I do can add a little bit of structure to that and give you the kind of vehicle to get that out, then I feel very lucky to be able to do it. So thank you, Olga.
Okay, I will close us off, and next meeting is in 2 weeks, and we will see each other every 2 weeks. Also in JAMA, I will post the schedule tomorrow, and I wish everyone really nice evening, and check the links. I will update links in the description box with the shows, with all the info that you have to know. Definitely join JAMA because awesome things are happening. I learned something yesterday from Fiona. That was my husband behind me. Oh my god, he freaked me out. I learned a new technique that I will happily explore because I am so excited. Okay, uh, that's it for today, and see you in 2 weeks. And thank you.
See you soon. Bye.
Okay.